Well, I just barely caught that one, but 70 attack happened. I didn't have the recorder up when it happened, so I was like, oh no. But 130 combined levels in attack and strength is a requirement for while Gothic sleeps. You know what else is the requirement for? The Warriors Guild, so I can now buy stews. But first of all, I'm going to finish off this Fire Giants task, and then I'll probably work on RFD, and I can get that done today, so that's exciting. Anyway, welcome to a new episode today. So I will be not only slaying in this episode, I plan on slaying quite a bit. I'm really excited to try out this Blisterwood polearm and see how that goes, because the Dragon Daggers, they're okay, but the accuracy needs to go up, as well as finish RFD and get myself some Barrows gloves. Man, this Blisterwood polearm is a huge upgrade over those Dragon Daggers. It's just so much more accurate. I hardly missed it all. And this is a crush weapon, and the Fire Giants are weak to slash, so I'm not even using the correct style or anything. I just barely missed at all. It does help that I'm now using super attack and strength for Slayer, because I do have a ton of them that I made while training Herblore. But anyway, I really like that task a lot. It's kind of funny because I absolutely detest Fire Giants on the main, and I would always skip them. But on the Ironman, they're really, really good XP. Gonna go ahead and grab another task from Duradel here, and one thing that is probably important to note is we'll get Dust Devils, so I imagine this Blisterwood polearm is going to be a huge help on them as well. I'm also training strength, so I should get 70 pretty fast with the way that things are going, but I'm getting really close to 75 Slayer, and at 75 Slayer I get to unlock a Gargoyle task, which is going to be awesome. And one thing that I want to get before I actually get to 75 Slayer is I want to learn how to do the killing blows quicker, because that's going to make the Gargoyles task probably 10 million times easier. But a couple more tasks and I should have enough points in order to do that, so that's what I'm saving up for right now. Oh my goodness, 79 tasks in a row, and the next one I should get a big point bonus as well, and I should also be getting 75 Slayer. I'm 2.8k to go, and then Gargoyles are going to be awesome. That is a task where I can make a lot of money. I believe they drop a lot of alchable items and a lot of gems as well, so I'm actually really excited for that one. I think Gargoyles drop a lot of emeralds, which are used to make like Sign of the Porter 3s or 4s, something like that. So those would be super, super useful if I could get my hands on a lot of those. Alright, the last task before 75 Slayer, and it's going to be Calphites. Not a huge fan of that one, but we can make it work. So unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to use the Cyrodiil Slayer Master after I reach 75 Slayer, because that is a Swelly requirement for her, but you do also have to have 110 combat. And I'm obviously quite a ways to go until that point. So I'm going to have to wait for quite a while. I'm going to have to stick with Duradel for quite a while, but I'll manage to grind through it. And this kill right here should get me 75 Slayers, so that's going to be pretty hype. Whenever I can hit, I really should have brought water spells with me instead of air spells. That probably would have helped. But 75 Slayer unlocked Gargoyles. I really hope I get a task of those soon. I'm hyped for it, and I'm really not hyped for this Calphites task. But I'll try my best to grind it out and finish it. And I might have to go back and get water spells, because this is bad. Finally got that test done, and 75 points. That's a really nice boost. I'm going to get used to that doing Duradel. And one unfortunate thing about this task, I did get a lot of Runars. They did add up. And a lot of blue charms as well, and I'm not upset about that, but only one rune item. Really? These things are supposed to, like, crap out rune helms and rune chain bodies, but it is a good one. A rune chain body does alch for a fair price. I'd put it somewhere in this bank. Oh, there it is. And I'll put that in my alch tab, which is adding up now, and I want to save stuff up and, like, alch it all at once, see how much money I can get. I will alch stuff on Slayer task itself if my inventory gets full, but as long as I can hold it in my inventory, I do put it in this tab. Time to, well, let's grab a task from Duradel, and we'll see what it is. Hopefully it's Gargoyles here. I got it the very first try. How awesome is that? And of course, one thing that I'm additionally going to have to do is learn how to deliver killing blows quicker, which is awesome that I have enough points to do that already. And then I'll have to trade Duradel and get myself a couple rock hammers. Let's go do this first Gargoyles task. This is going to get hype. I just finished off the Gargoyles task, and this might just be my new favorite task. This is amazing. I got about 300k in GP alone from the alchs that I did do during the task, and I managed to bank most of the rune items as well. So I have a whole ton of stuff to alch, and I got a ton of emeralds, which are going to be really nice for making signs of the port in the future. Lots of bars as well for smithing. I don't know how useful those are going to be, because you don't get a ton of smithing XP per bar, but it might add up. Oh, and not to mention, 62k cash for the contract. I will take that. Alright, let's do this, Duradel. I know you can't give me Gargoyles again because I don't have a preferred, but give me something good. Aberrant specters. You know, that's really good. Lots of noted herbs, and that is going to lead to a lot of herbal XP, which I desperately need. I managed to get the task done in one inventory. That's actually pretty cool, just barely, because I don't have a whole lot of health left or a whole lot of prayer, but I managed to kill however many Aberrant specters it was, quite a few, 185 without banking, which is awesome. That's a lot of progress, and that's going to be good in the future as I continue to get higher combat stats and get these Slayer tasks done, and also whenever I get 67 summoning for a Bunyan, that would be so helpful as well. Alright, and getting into some more Slayer clips, and I know this episode is primarily about Slayer, and I do apologize for that, because there is a lot of the same stuff, but at the same time, a lot of people did like that 120 Slayer series. I'm trying to bring a happy marriage between the people who like both series in Slayer, and also, you gotta remember, the main goal of the series, kind of the ending goal that I really want to accomplish when all is said and done, is to get 95 Slayer and get myself an Ascension crossbow, and that's going to take a really long time, and probably even both Ascension crossbows. I might not do both of them back to back. I might grind out one, wait a little while, and then do another one, because doing 2 Ascension crossbows back to back, that is a lot of glad camping. I'm not really sure how long it's going to take. I think they're about like 10 keys an hour or something like that if I was killing them with chaotic crossbows, which is the eventual plan, and one thing that I really have to do is get into dungeoneering as well. So we'll see how that's going to go, but the problem with dungeoneering is solo dungeoneering just isn't really all that fun, and it's kind of a shame. I really wish that you could 5-man dungeoneer on Ironman, because that was really fun getting 120 going with friends and stuff like that. Who knows, maybe that'll come out someday. So far, in terms of Slayer, I'm really liking Duradel a lot better than I like Simona. I think he gives a lot of better tasks. Simona gave a lot of those tasks, such as Turoths, for example, where the drops are decent, but the XP is just so bad. Basilisks is another example of this, so it really makes it kind of slow to level up. Unfortunately, Duradel does assign a lot of metal dragons, and I'll probably have to cancel those tasks in the future, because it's just really hard to kill them, because I have to do it with the Bat Wand. I can't just pray Mage or pray Anti-Fire with a regular anti-fire, because unfortunately if you do that with the metal dragons, if you don't have an anti-dragon shield equipped, they can still hit up to 1,000, so it just means you'd have to bank a lot for food doing it that way. I tried a bronze dragon task only praying mage, and it just didn't go too well. I ran out of food after like 10 bronze dragons or something like that. So I'll probably cancel all the metal dragon tasks, but for the most part, the other tasks that Duradel gives are great. Greater Demons is a good example. Probably my favorite task so far is Gargoyles. I think Necreals will be a good task as well when I eventually unlock them, just because they're very good XP. And they give the Crimson Charms as well, so all of those good charm tasks are coming. Stuff like Abbey Demons, stuff like Necreals. I guess Dark Beasts aren't necessarily great charms, but there are some tasks that are really good charms that are coming up, and I finally got 77 Slayer. That means I can kill Desert Strikeworms, so whenever I get a task of that, I need to kill jungles and deserts to get myself a Hex Crest and a Focus Sight, and that will be the full Slayer helm done, so I'm really looking forward to that one, and it might take a while because they're rare drops and you can only kill them on Slayer task. So unfortunately, I can't just go camp Jungle Strikeworms or something. I've already done 2 tasks of them and no Hex Crest yet, but I'm hoping it will eventually happen. Same thing with the Desert Strikeworms. That's going to be an awesome task as well, because I know they drop like a lot of rune hatchets, so probably pretty good alchables and pretty good drops there. And Black Dragons, I had to skip that task, because same thing with metals, they just hit too hard. Although maybe I could pray mage on them since they're a regular dragon, be okay, but I just wanted to safe it and go ahead and skip that task as well. Okay, I should be able to get the evil stew ready now. I believe it's 2 of each spice that I have to add to the stew to make it be able to free Evil Dave. Also, I'm doing prayer on my main account, and these 2 people here are having a really awkward conversation. So that's a little bit strange, but we'll add 2 of everything. 2 orange, 2 browns, and I have a few spices left over if I ever need to boost. I imagine if I ever get to a high enough Herbler level to make overloads, I'd probably want to boost for that. Now, do not drink this, but use it on Evil Dave. And What? Alright, we should be good now. I just had to have Evil Dave taste the stew, and luckily he didn't eat it all. So we're going to go ahead and free him. And also, one thing that I gotta say is this was so much easier with a cat than it was with a kitten. It was like night and day of the difference between those two. So I only have Lumbered Sage left and Scratch Uglogwy, which by far, this guy's probably the most annoying one. But the Lumbered Sage isn't so bad, so I'll probably do him next. The Cake of Guidance has been created. Let's go turn this into the wizard, bro. And this does mean, or I guess he's not really a wizard, he's a Lumbered Sage. Kind of the same thing, though, so 1 more to go. Only 5k XP for that one? That's kind of disappointing, but we still have to free Scratch Uglogwy. Not a big fan of this guy. I think there's a lot of steps involved, but I should be able to bang out his mini quest in maybe like 20 minutes. Well, that was a complete fail. I recorded myself handing in the jubbly, but it turns out that my mic was on mute. Yeah, wonderful. Why would I do something like that? I'm not really sure, but it's time to go ahead and get into the final boss of RFD. Shouldn't be too difficult. I think that the bosses during the final boss fight of this quest don't actually hit all that hard, so we should be okay. No! I have to do Horror from the Deep? Dang it! I didn't even realize that I had to do that quest to fight the final RFD bosses. Oh boy. Well, it looks like I'm gonna go do Horror from the Deep really quick. At least that means I can get Dagonauth tasks for Slayer in the future, which is, I don't know, it's okay. Well, I did not realize that Horror from the Deep was just gonna automatically complete the second that I killed the Dagonauth mother, but there we go. Got that one done. Finally, I can do the boss fights for RFD, so let's go do that now. Got a strength level 2, and I guess I'll get a prayer book from this, but I don't really need one, so I'm not too worried about that. Okay, well the boss fights are really easy. I've had to eat one food the entire time, and that's with my stats trained pretty low as well. At 73 mage, the Colomancer 2's credit hits like 1Ks every once in a while, but he doesn't have very much health, so he goes down easily. Honestly, the only problem with this boss fight is the bosses just barely have any health. They all have like 5K to 10K health. If that was just boosted a little bit, that would probably help out quite a bit, but RFD is done. Let's spend this XP lamp on Herblore, because why not? Should get a level out of that. Got up to 60 Herblore, which is awesome. I do eventually have to get up to 65 for Wild Gothic Sleeps. I think that's the highest quest requirement in the game. Let's go buy some Barrows gloves, which is really what this quest is all about. And also I'll be able to buy chocolate bars from this quest, from this chest, which is going to be really nice for doing Herblore and such. But Colomancer gloves 10. Let's buy them. Let's wear them. They're going to be good. They have pretty good stats, and they're hybrid gloves as well, so I can use them for all styles of combat, and that is awesome. So guys, I'm going to go ahead and end off the video here, and I'm going to be working on some PVM on my main and all that. One thing that I did want to say is I've been trying to structure the Ironman a little bit more around Slayer, do a lot more Slayer focus in the videos themselves. That's probably going to continue for a little while. I would like to get up to 85, possibly even 90 Slayer, and also just get my combat stats up in the meantime, because that's going to be really nice to get the higher combat stats, and also 90 Slayer would just be awesome for Dark Beast. Have some of the best drops in the game for Ironman, and one of the best monsters camp, or at least up to 83 so I can do Spiritual Mages, and also so I could get summoning up for Elf City and all that. And then once I get my combat up quite a bit, I'll probably move on to other stuff. But that's about all for this video. Thank you guys for watching. I'll try to get the next one out in 3 or 4 days. But until then, farewell.